Hello, dear learners. Good afternoon. How's doing? I hope you are well. As usual, I'm here today with the new chapter of Cadastral Survey. Today we will see chapter 1, introduction parts. Let's see what I mean by cadastral. When and where cadastral survey was applicable, and who the professional for cadastral survey applicability. We'll see these all things, including these elements, purpose, and the like. As you see from the slide, it says, what is a cadastral survey? We are going to start with the definition of what I mean by cadastral survey. Look, cadastral survey is the discipline of land surveying that relates to the definition or reestablishment of land parcel boundaries. Again, cadastral surveying involves in interpreting and division on boundary locations, the status of land, and the rights, restrictions, interests in properties. This is the definition of cadastral survey. If so, what are the basic elements of surveying in cadastral survey? GPS, global positioning system, and astronomic measurements also need measurement of the time component, which is distance measurement, angle measurement, leveling, determination of position, reference network, and error and accuracy. These around six things were the component, the elements of this cadastral survey. So, let's again, what is the main purpose of the cadastral surveying, especially in terms of documentation of land ownerships? So the main purpose are documentation of land ownership, improvement of land registration to support a land market, improvement of land management of land under customer tenure, improvement of land use planning and land management, and again also this purpose, improvement of recording of land users or owners, and finally identifying the state of art. So, what are the methods of cadastral survey? What are the methods? What are the mechanisms we are going to apply in cadastral survey? Direct and indirect techniques of cadastral survey were applied many times. Cadastral boundaries can either be recorded on the ground with accurate measurement equipment, that is called direct surveying, or be delineated along visible boundaries from remote sensing imagery, that is what we call indirect surveying. Cadastral mapping is considered the most expensive part of land administration system. So, what is the cadastral plan? Cadastral survey plan or registered plan provides the detail of the boundaries of the property as well as its area. This is done so that the property can be easily identified by the landowners, and adjoining owners. But the next, what is the main principle of surveying, which is very important? We have to know to apply cadastral survey, we have to know some principles. That is basically two basic principles of surveying. That is the surveyor, or the principle of survey, or the science of survey work in two ways. The first one, it always work from whole to the part, or another expression, survey always work from general to specific. The second, to locate a new station by at least two measurements, that is linear or angular, from fixed reference point. This is very important basic principles of surveying. It works always from the whole to the part, or from general to specific, and when we locate the new boundaries, to locate a new station by at least two measurements, which is either linear or angular from the fixed reference points. The aim of cadastral surveying, again, the aim of cadastral surveying is the mapping of the recording of the boundary and the ownership of land and property and the boundaries of different land uses. Many textbooks explain how surveying was necessary in ancient Egypt because the annual floods built or destroyed boundary markers, which then had to be reestablished for ownership of the fields. So the aim of the land registration protects the safety of the ownership. Registration of the mortgage, which is of utmost importance in the modern economy, the basis of series of regulations. At least, but not least, the basis of taxing. So, elements of land registration. For example, in different countries, land registration has its own elements. Particularly, for example, in Hungary, we have the unified system, which is property sheets, cadastral map, floor plan of other real estates, archives, documentation, repositories. Property sheet means it has its own type, paper or digital, not authoritative or e-authoritative or authoritative. Full review. The three parts, again, first part, parcel attributes, the second part, owner attributes, the third part, rights, restrictions, and responsibilities of the owner's land management. Land registry map. This day, the land registry map are a digital map which are equivalent to the database. Of course, the database must have a graphical interface to visualize them as a map. For example, of the scale 1 to 1000, built up areas in cities, 1 to 2000, built up areas in villages, 1 to 4000, rural areas. That is a paper or digital type. A paper or digital types. Content of the land registry map out of the frame, for example, settlement name, map sheet number, scale bar, date, land registry office. Inside the frame, for example, these all are out of the frame. Settlement name is out of the frame, map sheet number is out of the frame, scale bar is out of the frame, date out of the frame, land registry office out of the frame. What elements are listed inside the frame? Administrative boundary is in the frame, legal parcel boundary in the frame, lot number or parcel ID, parcel number, parcel identification number, build and other construction, street names and house numbers are inside the frame. Inside the frame. Boundaries, identification and check of the boundaries, consistency of data in land registration, difference between the legal and the physical boundaries, tolerance based upon the technology, how the map was developed, two main technologies, graphical and numerical methods. Setting out of the boundaries, for example, it is done by certified land surveyor and examples of the documentation. Changes, for example, in recording boundaries, subdivision, unification, adjustment, expropriation, regarding building, registration of the new one, cancellation, further right, easement, agreement on the shared use. The other thing, step of parceling, which is very important in cadastral survey, how to parceling, how to dividing, how to share the common land for the users or to the owners. Step of parceling. First one is declaration of the claim. The first, which is very important concept in cadastral surveying, is how to parceling the public land, if it is allowed to give some group the public lands for example, for condominium houses, for the residence and the like. The main step here is how to parceling, how to divide the land for the owners or for the individuals. Let's see 9 things which is very important. The first one, the first step you have to do is the declaration of the claim. The second one is preliminary negotiation. The third is land registry data request. The fourth, land survey. The fifth, preparing the technical documentation. 6, clause. 7, parceling permits. Number 8, contract, legal activities. Number 9, registration of the change. This is very important, especially in cadastral survey, as we have tried to see roughly these chapters within this minute. What I mean by surveying, what are the purpose of surveying, the elements of surveying, and finally the steps of how to parceling. Parcel means the one's individual owner lands. That is the one man or one property's boundaries or lands parceling. We say it's called parceling. Somebody's land, somebody's the owner's land is called parceling. This is very important. For example, declaration of the claim, preliminary negotiation, land registry data request, land survey, preparing technical documentation, clause, parceling permits, contract, legal activities, and registration of the change. This is our today's short and brief lesson. We will summarize here for today's class. I thank you very much for your high attention. Please follow and get free classes. I'm always here on online. I'm ready always to serve you, to teach you, to share what I have for you. Be tagged with this channel, subscribe, share, like, and so on. See you again. Bye.